To fetch data from multiple objects, we use relationship queries, and that can be achieved in a single query instead of writing multiple queries for fetching data from different objects. So here I have created one sample application, and here you can see the data model for that application. You can also refer one of my video tutorials. That's a series of around 6 tutorials in which has named as creating application with customization. Though I would give a brief here only so that it would be more comfortable without navigating to that tutorial. You can understand that from here only. So basically, you have a company which actually deals in selling a particular software, uh, which is a very popular software for your company. Then you sell laptops, desktop by assembling them, and you have a global business. So what you want actually to offload some work to a third party, and those third party would be granted few few license types which you have defined logically. So those license types can be like if someone is providing service center, uh, they will have to you will have to provide them with a license type as a service center. If somebody if there is any distributor who wants to take the responsibility to distribute your product, uh, which is a software in your case, then that would be acquiring a license type for that particular thing to sell that software. So one license holder may have multiple license type, and that is hold in a junction object. So this license type actually holds the master list of the license types. So if any particular license type is of no use for you, you can actually deactivate or delete that. And if you want that in future there is one possibility to add another, then certainly you can add that into your license type. So this is about our application and this data model. Let's go ahead and see how we can fetch data with respect to this application. So if we talk about relationship queries, there are two things. One, there we can run a child to parent query, which is in other case is called upward queries, and another is parent to child queries, which is downward. We go from parent to child. So let's see how we can run these queries. So if you see from here child to parent, here you would clearly understand that your target object is a child object, and you want to include few fields of its parent, which in our case is account, and in your result set. So this is the simplest query you can write for child to parent. And if you see this diagram here, this account is a relationship name. So this relationship name is in case of a standard object, which is actually the same name as it is of a object. So here this is a relationship name for our child to parent query. Let's go ahead and see few more examples, and you should remember one thing, that it actually use notation to access field from a parent object. So here if you see, in case of standard object, we are using relationship name of that particular object, standard object, as a account, and we are using dot notation to actually retrieve its field. So this is the one query. Also you can include your dot notation in where clause. Now in case of custom object, you will have to keep in mind that the relationship name would be the same name as of the API name of your custom object, but with a little difference that it would now hold underscore underscore R instead of underscore underscore C. And that way you can access data from your child to parent, I'm using child to parent query. So if I understand this via custom object, it is something like that. I want to fetch all the license holding which has a particular license type. So this is how this query is being written here. Okay, so now we are going to learn parent to child query, and for that, okay, so let's first run these few queries over there, and let's copy this from here. uh, okay, so let me copy this. So this way what we can do, we can access our force.com explorer, and here on a query editor we can write a query. Here I have a custom field, though I'm not putting any kind of condition over here, but still it is same. So if you see session expired, oh, let me open it again and then we run query. So again, let me remove this again and let's fetch that. So if you see, if you have null account name, no account has been associated with a particular contact. So this is how you can access the data in your parent from child. If I run this query again, let's see what happens. So here it is same and it is showing us the different results. So this particular license holding is actually holding this kind of license. Now let's go ahead and try to understand parent to child queries. So in parent to child queries, I have taken the reference of standard object and a custom object. So in standard object, if you see this query, you would see that we are using a nested a sub query. So if you see the direction, our target object is account, and we want to fetch all the contact with its associated contact. So it is one to many kind of relationship, and we are going to get all the data through this parent to child query. So here you see parent is a target, and all the contacts data is being fetched through this query. And here keep in mind this thing, this is a relationship name which is in plural. So here, I mean, it's a common sense that if we are going from parent to child, or this is obvious that we are going to get many contacts. So same way it is a plural form which is contacts. Now if we see custom object, we would see here a difference that all the license, we want to fetch all the license types which have the license holding. So there may be several holdings for a particular license type. So here in case say in case of custom object, if you here you see a plural version of your relationship, and underscore underscore r would be there. So this is how you can actually run this particular query. If we run this, control C, and let's navigate to our developer console, and let's try to run this. So what you see here, here if you see, you are fetching a id field, and from this id field let's fetch another name. So if you see this result over here, you would see a something different notation, which is here in this case is an array of object. So here it fetched actually two records for this particular license type. Here it has fetched more records. I mean, if you can see here, this is another comma, so it fetched more. Here in case of this service center, there are only two records. So this is how it display to you the result. So don't bother, when you use it programmatically you can access each and everything, but because this is a developer console, you are going to see the result something like this in this notation. So now to check the relationship name, what we can do, we can, in case of our uh, standard object, let's navigate to sales app, and from here let's move to contacts. From here let's go to object, uh, mhm. Then we have a relationship here with as a lookup relation. Let's go to this, and here if you see, we can identify the child relationship name with this, which is in this case is contacts. Now let's go to our app and try to find out the relationship name. So in our case, let me go to particular that, okay, so let me edit this, and through quick find box let me go to this object, and from here what I can do, because I want to fetch license type, so I'm going here, and if you see here, uh, you can see the child relationship name here as license holdings, but as I told you, you will have to put underscore underscore r after this. So this way you can actually identify your relationship names. And here we can see few examples with respect to parent to child downward queries, and this is what I have explained about parent to child and child to parent query. And we can use this SOQL in conjunction with Apex. So we will have a programmatical access for our data, and we can actually do more uh, process on data.